Hey, what's going on, guys? Junaid here from Bring It Coaching. Hope you're doing well. And if you don't know my story, I'm going to tell you why getting fired from my first ever personal training job was the best thing that ever happened to me. So I left university around 2013, fresh out of university, and it was difficult because I was fresh out of university with all this, having learned all this knowledge. Along the way, I was doing some personal training outside, going to people's homes, training in the park. But I didn't have a lot of experience working with a lot of clients. So, fortunately, I came across a gym, and they took me on to become a personal trainer, which I'm forever grateful for. And I learned a lot of things from the guys there. It taught me a lot around training, different clients. Bear in mind at this stage I was in my early 20s, so I didn't have a lot of experience in terms of life experience, for that matter, especially working with a lot of older clients in that gym. I was fresh at university. I didn't really know too much, so it was difficult for me, for one, to relate to these older clients who are 10 plus 15 years older than myself. But I had that enthusiasm, I like to believe, where I was energetic and wanted to learn and love training, love helping people. So it was a great fit, great time. And I think I was there for just over 2 years working with these guys, and like I said, forever grateful for the time they gave me, the experience, and learned a lot. Here's some of the things I want to share with you guys, why actually ended up getting fired from this place was the best thing that ever happened. And I think the most obvious reason was because I wouldn't probably be here where I am today with my own gym, my own setup. If I'd gotten fired, would I have still be working in that gym or moved over to another chain gym, working under somebody else? I don't know, but getting fired was the start of things for me, and that actually helped me, push me forward to set up on myself and give this thing a go. So as you can imagine, getting fired wasn't really the best of news I wanted to receive at the time. I knew things weren't great amongst the gym itself, but it was a time period where things were changing in the fitness industry anyway, and for that gym as well, things were changing. So I was one of the persons that got let go, and like I said, I'm forever grateful for it now, looking back. And things that I learned were that you need to, if you want to go out there and make something of yourself, if you want to push yourself, you need to be pretty much thrown into the deep end at times, because that's where you're going to be tested as an individual, to see what you're made out of. And I work with a lot of clients over the years, and I've worked with a lot of clients over the years where sometimes they're afraid to come and train with us. They feel like it's too much. They're unsure of how they're going to fit in. Maybe they haven't trained for a while. But I can assure you that throwing yourself into the deep end is really the test that you need, that we all need, that will help challenge you to overcome your fears of starting a journey. So just like people starting a journey with us, getting fit and training, my journey was then leaving those guys to become a personal trainer full-time for myself and take a risk on myself and back myself in times where I didn't really have much. Luckily enough, at the time when I was let go, I did have a couple of clients, and the story goes where I continued training people outside the gym, in their homes, traveling to parks. And I was at this stage where I was living in my grandma's house, and we had the dining room one of the rooms in the house. It was a big house, and I actually converted one of the rooms into like a mini gym. So over the years, I collected my own equipment, actually ordered some equipment, and started training people in one of the front rooms of my grandma's house, and actually just started training people from there until they sold that house, and I was left out to fend on my own once again. Had to literally find a place somewhere to live, and I actually managed to find a flat. It was like a shared accommodation, and they actually had this conservatory area where they would there was a gym. Actually, they actually had like space for a gym, some equipment. So I was like, this is perfect. I can actually now start to train people from my own home in this place where I was living, and you know, start on the business again, start building my client base back up again, and go from there really. So like I said, getting fired from that gym threw me into the deep end and really tested me to see where and what I was actually made of. So it taught me never to give up, taught me resilience, keep pushing forward. In times where you don't really have a lot of money, for that instance, or a lot of clients, a lot of people that I didn't really know. If you didn't have a big network, it's quite small, didn't really know many people, even though I grew up in Birmingham, but I was still young, and it was a challenge, definitely was a challenge. And going from there, I even remember setting up in my mum's house as well, one of the rooms there. I still remember it today, getting like these IKEA mirrors installed on the wall, and wherever I was, I just tried to make the best of the situation. So I'm always an optimistic person. I always look for opportunities that's going to help myself to grow and just stay focused on this path to becoming a personal trainer. I didn't know how far I was going to take it, but like I said, being fired forced me to grow. It forced me to push myself and push myself outside my comfort zone, and to try to move forward in this direction. Slowly, after moving around and living in different places and, you know, converting rooms into gyms, I started to grow a bit. I needed a bigger space, and it was no longer viable for me to, you know, train people from my home. So from the current location where I'm at right now, I actually found a gym just further up the road from me. And for those obviously who know me and were training me with me, have been training me for several years, know this story and know the location of the gym. It was a tiny space that I found a guy who was already personal training out of, and fortunately enough, he gave me an opportunity to rent out his space. And it was a time where it was a space that was really small. All I could really do was fit 1 to 2, 3 people training in there, where I had to share the gym, and it wasn't the best of places, but you know, I took what I can. It was a good setup for me at the time, still building on what I had, and you know, trying to push me again out my comfort zone, to try and push me to build something now that I had a stable base set up. However, I knew that it wasn't where I wanted to be. It wasn't really, because it wasn't mine at the end of the day. I knew that it wasn't my space solely, and I knew that I had to, you know, work around the guy who actually owned the gym, and I knew I had to, you know, run things by him. So for example, I started to do group training, small group training, and I knew he wasn't very fond of this. So I knew that if I had my own place, nobody could tell me what I could and couldn't do in my own gym. So I knew that, you know, eventually I would need to move out of here. And the thing that I remember to this day was when I moved there, within a couple of weeks or so, I just said to myself, I'm going to be out of here within a year. I don't know why I said a year. Maybe because I just knew straight away. I had a vision of the place, knowing that it wasn't mine, and I had a vision of what I wanted to do further down the line. Having had some experience working with the gym where I got fired at, working with, you know, clients outside of this, beginning to get more involved in the fitness industry and paying attention to things that were going on, because a lot of the things did come from The concepts did come from America, the whole group training aspect. So that was a big thing that I sort of looked at and worked out the model that I wanted to use. So yeah, once again, I was in this small gym, in this personal training studio, and I realized that again I wanted to get myself out of there, and the only way for me to do this was to just put my head down once again, attack it, deliver a service, deliver my knowledge and expertise as much as I knew. I tried to work the community that I was in. Luckily enough, the gym was located to where I live, so it was local. And yeah, so within a year, a space became available. A client that I was training, I recommended a space not far from where I was, from where the current location is right now. And he just recommended that somebody is going to be leaving this unit that I'm in right now. Do I want to go down and have a look? And I thought, you know what? I'm going to go down, have a look. I was for a few weeks unsure because I didn't really, to be honest, have the enough client base to cover the rent, cover the expenses at the time. But I thought to myself, look, if I go there and create something out of this place, I'm going to take a risk, and you know, it's going to be a new gym, a new setup in the area. It's going to attract people, it's going to attract clients, and that's what happened. That's what happened. So 2016, I was there at the old gym, small gym. 2017 moved out. Within the year, September, July got the key. September 2017 opened this gym that we're currently in right now, 5 years in. And yeah, it took off. Things happened in motion. Been a massive learning experience along the way, and it still is a continuous journey. Things that I'm learning. So yeah, like, forever grateful for the guys that set me up, taught me so many things, like I mentioned, being resilient, putting your head down, just working hard at your passion, working hard, try to figure things out, seek out help when you need it. You know, there's always going to be, especially in business, you're always going to need help in some areas. So, you know, it was the best thing that happened to me, because I took on that step for me to go, put myself out there, put my head down, keep resilient, keep pushing forward, and just, you know, never bought into any negativity. There were times when they were rough, for sure, but never bought into any negativity that was going to prevent me from pushing forward. Never paid attention to anybody that doubted me, said that I couldn't do it. Just ignored it, really. Didn't really have any interest in that at all. So I'm a person that senses these things and understands, you know, when company is good. I like to hope anyway. I mean, it's helped me so far in business. But yeah, like I said, we're here today at Bring It Coaching, 5 years on, and I hope this story has inspired somebody. If you're thinking of, you know, taking that leap of faith, if you're thinking of starting your own thing, becoming an entrepreneur in whatever it is, you know, you're unsure what to do. But if you are somebody that is determined, willing to work hard, put your head down and run with your gut, and run with, you know, something that you're very much passionate about, by all means, do it. Get yourself out there, because, you know, if you wait till tomorrow may never come. We're not guaranteed that at all. And I think, you know, in this day and age, it's definitely a lot more easier from when I did start. There's a lot more exposure now online. There's a lot more people helping in different areas of, let's say, marketing. So get yourself out there, give it a shot. And, you know, if it doesn't work out, you can always go back to your 9 to 5. Thanks for listening to the story, guys. Hope you've enjoyed it. Junaid from Bring It Coaching. Take care.